We have to be the change, not our thoughts. Our mind isn't a console. It's a tool that we use, you know. And if you can't handle the tool, you don't throw out the tool. You don't run away from the tool. You don't let the tool control you. You step up to the plate and learn how to use it properly. Learn how to skillfully and willfully own something that's in your possession already. In saying that we're the reaction to our external world, we're also the reaction to our thoughts. You know, you're the reaction to everything around you. In some ways, what we think is what we are. You know, we are a relationship between our thought, our mind, and everything else around us. And in saying that, I don't mean necessarily just the way you think, but the way you feel about how you think, the way your thoughts make you feel. I said it in a couple previous videos that, you know, feeling is sort of the most important part to becoming what you want, to getting where you want to go. You have to feel like you can, or already feel like you're there. And I feel like a lot of our thoughts don't contribute to that. I read the comments and sometimes people talk about how their thoughts, you know, just don't really allow them, or, you know, they want to improve themselves, but their thoughts don't really get in the way. You know, to get on top of my thoughts, I did meditation for a while. And even to this day, you know, there's still times where my thoughts get ahead of me. But that's not to say that they can't be managed. It's about the reaction. You're going to have thoughts regardless. You're going to think no matter what. Your thoughts are going to be had regardless of what you do. It's about how you react to those thoughts, whether you're giving them attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. If you're giving attention to the negative, more negativity is bound to happen. More negativity is bound to come into your vicinity, and you're more likely to observe it. You're more likely to see it, register it, and internalize it. So it's about how you react, how you care about those thoughts, how you relate them to yourselves, or whether or not you're attaching it to parts of your identity. I've already determined that, like, a lot of us derive self-worth from negative places, like in other people or circumstances, rather than ourselves. It's about how you build yourself up, in my head, not so much how, you know, everything else is trying to build you. Not to say you can't get help from the external, but to say that in relating a lot to stuff to yourselves, all you can do is, you know, fuel yourself off of comparison. And a lot of times comparison isn't worthwhile. You know, nothing is you, and not everything is for you. Saying that what we are is what we think, or what we think is what we are. I'm saying we have to be mindful of what we're being mindful of. You know, consciousness is a blessing and a curse at times. I feel like the more we're conscious of one thing, the more it becomes part of our daily routine, part of who we are. Your consciousness becomes your subconscious, becomes your reality. And in saying I don't just mean that, you know, consciousness is bad. I'm saying that when you allow yourself to consume a lot of negativity, when you allow yourself to consume things that aren't necessarily for you, a lot of stuff in your life is going to seem like it's not for you. Even yourself, even your own expressions, your own comfort is going to seem like it's not for you. And it's not about that. It's about being mindful, making sure you're monitoring your thoughts and your reactions to them, making sure you feel good about how you're feeling about yourself and how you're feeling about the way your mind works. And if you don't, it's about taking the necessary steps to start working on those things. Like I said, I did meditation for some years. That's what mainly helped me just get a general baseline. Like when you're meditating, you realize that you're not so much the thought as you are the thing observing it. And once you get that kind of dichotomy, that kind of third person perspective of your own thoughts, it's much easier to move around them. It's much easier to kind of get around that. Because once you detach your thoughts from your identity, from who you are becomes up to you. You're not your thoughts. You're your reaction to the thought. And I feel like that's the most important realization we can have. Because I feel like once you get that, once you start to realize that who you are isn't necessarily constrained by what you think, it allows you to sort of bypass that and start, in my opinion, going straight to the feeling. Going straight to sort of what you wish to achieve and allowing your thoughts to follow. I feel like it works best that way. When you're not necessarily chasing the feeling, but embodying like a feeling of gratitude is a great thing to do. Positivity. When you're embodying that sort of positivity, your thoughts are going to follow suit. It's not like you're going to be feeling great and then thinking negative things just because, something has to come into that. It has to be, I think, in my opinion, stimulated to some degree. So I think gratitude is a great practice. Waking up in the morning and um, just figuring out what you're grateful for, or not being shy enough to, suppress your own feelings of gratitude whenever things occur in your life. Because I find myself doing that sometimes. Sometimes I'm grateful for stuff. Sometimes I'm happy about it, and I try to suppress it. I don't know if it's like forced humility or something like that, but regardless, it's important to, celebrate your ups. It's important to acknowledge when you're doing something that's befitting of yourself. It compounds upon the fact that that's what you want to do, and this is a person you wish to be. In the same way that when we're negative, we kind of get into ourselves about it because we don't want to be that negative. We don't want to be in that place. We have to embrace when we're in that positive space then, and realize how it feels, register and try to get back to that feeling. Try to get back to that sort of vibration in a way. I was talking to my friend Jaden about it. It's not so much about realizing what your ups are. It's about being your most genuine self, feeling that, and people. I feel like we know when we're our most genuine self, when we're on top of ourselves. Like, we're not necessarily the most happy, but we're the most uplifted. And registering how that feels and making sure you know what you did or how what you did related to how you got to that feeling, how you got there. It's about remembering all the steps it takes to get back to yourself. I think I mentioned that in a video I titled like finding your way back to yourself. Because a lot of finding your way back to yourself is not necessarily being mindful of what you're mindful of, but monitoring how you feel and monitoring how your thoughts contribute to the things that you feel. And saying that a lot of us are swayed by our thoughts. It's not necessarily so much the thought that has impact. I feel like it's how we feel about the thought. You know, and saying that, we are nothing but but a reaction to the external world. We're also a reaction to our own internal worlds. It's about the relationship and dichotomy we have between ourselves and our situations, ourselves and our circumstances. And it's about making life intimate. It's about making it personal to you, in a sense. Um, I'm not necessarily sure how that ties into what we think is what we are, but in making life more intimate, more personal, and deriving a lot more from life than in our minds, allowing our minds to just lie dormant and sort of absorb the world around us, it makes it all the more better. When we're able to be on that vibe of positivity and just allow yourself to observe rather than to think and analyze and connotate, it allows you to open more avenues in your head for more expression. Making life more intimate is about being present, being wholly in the moment so that you can experience that positivity, so you can experience what it means to sort of be yourself in a situation and not necessarily be held back by maybe your past mentality or how you feel about yourself in even the slightest sense. I feel like when I'm most present, I'm not thinking about how I feel about myself. It's not about how you like it's about getting out of your head. And one thing I used to do um is like ask myself what my next thought is gonna be. And you realize that your thoughts don't govern your actions. You govern your actions. You, the thing observing the thought, governs your actions. You know, you're the one who puts the other foot in front of the other. It's not always a conscious thought. It's a relationship. How you've allowed your conscious thoughts to become your subconscious, to become your habitual thoughts. And I think that we think the same thoughts over and over again until we break that cycle. And I feel like that's why a lot of us are caught in negative loops. because we allow ourselves to keep repeating those same things over and over again in hopes that something's going to come along to change it. When in reality, we're the ones that need to change in order for the thought to break. We have to be the change, not our thoughts. Our mind isn't a console, it's a tool that we use, you know. And if you can't handle the tool, you don't throw out the tool, you don't run away from the tool, you don't let the tool control you. You step up to the plate and learn how to use it properly. Learn how to skillfully and willfully own something that's in your possession already. That's what I feel like it's about. Owning your mind, being able to be on top of what you got going on, not just in the sense that, you realize what you have going for you, but you realize what it means to you to do so. Our minds aren't always a bad thing, and I feel like we reject our mind too often. It's not about your rejection of your mind. It's about ownership, taking responsibility for the way that you are, in a sense, not necessarily allowing your mind to be an excuse or be a reason for your disadvantages or some other avenue of, I don't know, analysis. Making your mind a tool that you can use for your own benefit. And if you can't do that, I would just start by meditation. If you made it this far in the video, just start by meditating. I feel like that's a great way. Watch guided meditations. Just try to open your mind up to different possibilities. Like, we have a lot of limiting beliefs just in society as in general. And the more we allow ourselves to open our mind up, the more we allow ourselves to be more or less attached to our mentality about things, the more we're able to choose things and allow things to enter our mind that are befitting of who we want ourselves to be and who we're comfortable being. So if you made it this far, thank you very much. As you can see, I'm still at home. Still on spring break. I still have homework too. Ain't that interesting? But it's okay. We do what we can. Appreciate y'all for watching. Much love to y'all. Yeah. Life's been good. I hope it's going really good for you guys. It's really about being intentional. I've been fasting. I don't even know what day it is. Day 4, day 5 maybe. Regardless, stay on top of yourselves. Practice discipline in 1 or 2 ways every day. Whether that be you just like reading a book or you just doing something that not necessarily makes you uncomfortable, but doing something that contributes to who you are. Contributes to your longevity as a person and your longevity as someone who's growing. All in all, thank you so much. Keep being y'all. Take care of yourself. More videos on the way. Hopefully a podcast soon. I really got to get those back in rotation. So, yeah.